Alright guys, we are going to be talking about compression hanging setup today. This will also work for high tension extending with a compression hanger. The only real difference is the last step. You don't attach weight, you attach the high tension extender. So, if you want to stay up to date with all my content, including all this new beginners content, please subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, give it a like, comment what you want to see next. This time we'll be using the flaccid proxy. First thing to know with compression hangers is you need to be 5 inches stretch flaccid minimum. So some of you guys are going to need a different tool to start, but basically you're going to need at least 2 inches of free space to be able to attach a compression hanger. So if your glands are about 1 inch, your shaft needs to be 2 to 3 inches to start to comfortably put on the male hanger. This could also be a bit of an issue for growers because it's just a bit more difficult to work with, but we'll work through it together, okay? First thing, you're gonna need some kind of protection for the skin because when we open this up, the 2 main points of contact are gonna be here and here, okay? That's basically just gripping and pulling on the skin deep into the shaft. But since your skin's right there, main point of contact, it can be quite uncomfortable, so we need to spread that force out a bit. And also, that abrasion can lead to skin damage if we're not careful. Luckily, it's pretty easy to do. If you get the male hanger complete kit, it comes with a sleeve. All you gotta do is cut to length, so like every 3 to 4 inches, snip, and then you get a sleeve. You can get 3 or 4 sleeves out of this. But since I don't want to cut that because that's a demonstration model, we are just going to use the Peak Mel Physique 3 inch by 1 inch sleeve for this. So when putting it on, you want to have about 1/4 inch between your glands and the sleeve. Since this is not attached, this is a bit more work for me than it would seem. It would be much easier for you guys once you're actually doing this, but keep the sleeve completely flat and a little bit of space between them and the glands. But for this demonstration, I'm not going to worry about it all that much because I can just do this. So you want to leave about 5 millimeters at most between the glands and this. When we attach, we want to attach farther away so that way it can slide up a bit and we're still on the sleeve. But depending on your own comfort level, the sleeve might not be enough and depends on how much weight you use. So male hanger supplies some gauze to make it have better grip as well. So what I would recommend is start with just the sleeve, and then if you don't like the feeling, try to add a bit of gauze to protect the skin. This might be ace rack, but you get the idea. More friction since there's more ruffles, and it's cloth instead of silicone. Another thing you can do is get like an old sock or some cloth and then also wrap that around so you get a lot of padding between the device and everything else. If you use too much padding though, it's easy to slide off, so you gotta find that balance on your own. To put this on, you obviously put it in. You wanna set it up a little bit farther back than you would expect because it will slide forward. First, we're going to put the crossbar over. Now, initial setup, have it all the way out just so you get a good idea of where you need to be long term. Squeeze the shit out of your glands, apparently. Squeeze hard enough that the blood rushes out of your tip, and that way, while you are tightening it, the blood will be pushed out of your penis rather into your tip. And that's going to be the main reason for discomfort, is any blood still in the shaft because it's kind of being squeezed and there's nowhere for it to go, and that causes extra pressure than you really need. This is relatively painless, slightly uncomfortable, and it's going to be weight dependent on how uncomfortable it is. So we're going to just tighten this as much as we can. As you can see, this gap is slowly closing. We want this part here to meet in here, and ideally, you get it to almost touch, but starting off, it might be very uncomfortable. At lower weights, it's probably not that big of a deal. So we're going to keep going until we reach that point, This is the longest part. My hand's getting tired. So when we get to this point, I can still keep going a bit. Yep. So got pretty good grip at this point. See? This would slide up a bit normally since the skin is separated from the shaft, and then it will grip the shaft proper, but we are actually pretty good at this point. Now, to take it off, loosen it a bit to the point where it decompresses enough that you can push in. So like you see how it's looser. I can now push in, lift up, and now it comes off. And that's basically going to be your new starting point with some change to make it easier to compress. You don't have to go all the way back every time to take it on and off. Just figure out where you can get it off and on easily. It's going to be dependent on your girth and your own like comfort tolerance. But that's basically it. You can play around with adding more, not more sleeves, but more ace wrap. I usually only do one because I only do like at most 10 pounds. And I'm kind of used to that kind of tension at this point. But if you do like 2 to 3, you're going to get pretty good coverage as well as a good friction point. Again, you can also add socks or other cloth as well to really pad it out. Now, for some of you thicker guys, at the bottom, you'll notice there are different spacers here, right? If we turn this wing nut and then turn the bolt that's on the inside, we can widen the device. Now, this thing can get pretty crazy big, like probably big enough for like a literal racehorse. Probably don't do that. That's illegal in 37 states, excluding Alabama, for obvious reasons. But you only need like probably 2 to 3 turns every 1/4 of an inch of flaccid girth. So like if you're over 5 inches flaccid girth, give this a little bit of tweaking, because what we really want is when it compresses, it's going to be completely flat against your dick. And if your dick's just too fat, essentially, it'll make like a V shape, and then it makes it much easier for it to slide off. So we want a bit more room to work with the bigger we are. So like, again, every 1/4 of an inch flaccid girth over 5 inches, give this 2 or 3 spins and then tighten the inside bolts. It's a pretty easy twist with just my fingers. It doesn't need to be perfect, but you know, a little bit of size or a little bit of space goes a long way for comfort with this. Again, a lot of you guys probably won't need that. 5 inches flaccid girth is quite honestly massive. So for the most part, don't touch that unless it's like getting to that point. You know what I mean? The main downside for compression hangers is that you have to take them off every 20 minutes. We recommend taking them off every 20 minutes at least. The idea is, since we squeezed all the blood out of the tip, and since we completely occluded any blood flow to the tip, we are opening up for the chance of hypoxic damage. So every 20 minutes, take it off for like 2 to 3 minutes, potentially fluff up a bit if you catch my drift to pull in fresh blood, and then do the process all over again. That's the main downside with compression hangers, that you have to set it up often. But the main benefit is that you don't have to worry about blisters whatsoever, because there's no pressure on the glands if you do it right. Even then, like, the pressure is going to be internal and you won't get any real issues other than maybe discoloration and some soreness. And again, quick fix, squeeze the crap out of your glands while you're putting this on to make sure that no blood goes in. That's probably an over exaggeration. You want to be able to squeeze tight without pain. That's the main thing we're looking for when we're putting on the male hanger. This will work for most compression hangers. Typically, I look for the best deal that you can get, but like for a compression hanger, the quality is going to drop off significantly at like the $60 price point. So anything less than $60 is usually junk. I know that P hanger is an alternative in Europe. Haven't tried them myself. I sell male hangers because I trust the product immensely, and I know the guy, and he's a good guy. So male hanger at Peak Male Physique, or male hanger at malehanger.com to get this. This is a bit of product promotion. I just don't know of many good compression hanger alternatives that are worth its money. So coming up, we're going to go over extenders in general, hanging in general, and then we'll finally get to pumps. And then if there's anything else you want me to cover in the Ultimate Beginner's Guide, let me know in the comments below. but that's going to be like 80% of what you need to know from the start to make informed decisions about penis enlargement. So I will see you in the next one.